Good morning. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Today is Friday, November 11th, and it's my privilege to introduce Rory Higgs with today's announcements.
Good morning, St. Johnsbury Academy. Today is November 11th, 11/11/22, and it is a Variety Green Day. A reminder to band students to come to Morris after A block today to prepare for the Veterans Day Parade. Students should check back in class for C block. Seniors, today is the last day to submit your cap and gown measurements. Please submit via the survey that was sent to your STJ Labs account or stop by the headmaster's office and see Mrs. Lejeune. Juniors, we have 5 more selling days left in the wreath season. All orders are due to Miss Carr in the guidance office on Wednesday, November 16th by C block. Make the most of your final 5 days and sell, sell, sell. Please make sure you collected all the money before turning in your orders on November 16th. A reminder to all that would like to purchase a Burke Mountain Season Pass. Applications are due by November 30th. Contact Mrs. Greenwood in the business office for more information. The athletics department will host the Winter Meet the Coaches event Monday, November 14th at 6 p.m. in the Alumni Gym. Following general instructions, team meetings will be held in the Alumni Gym and Morse Center. Winter practices and tryouts will begin November 28th. The bins in the fieldhouse lobby must be emptied by the end of the school day today. Everything must go, so if you have your stuff in the bins, please stop by the fieldhouse by this afternoon to grab your belongings. Last chance, grab a team and sign up for the dodgeball tournament today in the Alumni Gym after CP. Mr. LaCroix is not here today, so sign-ups will be with Miss Lang in the Student Life office. The cost is $2 per teammate and $1 for admission if you choose to just watch. Show out and support our unified basketball team. A reminder that everyone in our Jewish community is invited to gather at the headmaster's house today at 4 p.m. There are rumors of bagels, but I can neither confirm nor deny the accuracy of these rumors. If you're interested in attending the American Ballet Theater Studio production this Sunday evening at Linden Institute, please be sure to stop by and see Mrs. Harabi today in the Morse Dance Studio for complimentary tickets. Attention international students. The registration deadline for the December 10th TOEFL is November 17th. Any student needing to take the December 10th TOEFL should stop by the guidance office to register with Mrs. McCaffrey. Good luck to our girls and boys cross-country teams who will be leaving today to compete in the New England Championships. These student athletes have been dedicated to perfecting their performance and committed to their teammates and coaches every day since August. Good luck to both teams. We are so proud of you already. Yeah, good luck. Happy birthday today to Elizabeth Durenlew and Huckle Perkins. Happy birthday tomorrow to Bryn Waring, and on Sunday to Nicholas Moll, Colin Pelletier, and Maddie Royer. A special happy birthday to Mr. Dembski from his B Block class and Waterman dorm, and a special happy birthday to Mr. Hartshorn from the Christensen dorm. Happy birthday. Today for sports, we have cross country at the New England Championships. Please release the teams at 10:45. And the Scholars Bowl Super Regional Tournament at Spalding. Please release this team at 2:20. This is all, and have a great day.
We do have one late announcement this morning. Congratulations to all the participants in last night's Poetry Out Loud declamation. It was an evening of incredible performances. Here are the 4 students that will be finalists in the contest: Olivia Blanchard, Marcus Burns, Max Groft, in Greer Kennedy. Congratulations, and thank you again to everyone who took part, both in your classroom competitions and in the declamation. A round of applause, please, for our 4 finalists. And now, with an announcement about the NHS Week of Giving, please welcome Paxton and Co.
You say how are you?
Hello, everybody! All right, everyone, good morning. How's everyone doing today? We doing good? Yeah. All right, so in case you couldn't tell, me and Co are in our full Thanksgiving spirit.
Yep.
And Co, you want to tell us why?
Yep. November 14 to 18 is our week of giving, and our goal is to make this year bigger and better than ever.
Yeah. St. Johnsbury Academy has a long-standing tradition of giving back to the community. For many years, through the generosity of faculty, staff, and students, we have donated countless items of food and money to stock the local food shelf, as well as contribute to the Thanksgiving baskets that are distributed to families in the community for our holiday. Next week, the National Honor Society will organize our annual Week of Giving food drive. Throughout the week, we encourage all of you to bring in non-perishable food items that can be used for the Thanksgiving baskets and for the local food shelf. There will be over 150 baskets delivered to families this year, so please bring as much as you can. So, Co, can you tell me about some of the things that you can bring in?
Absolutely. You can bring canned vegetables, canned or bottled gravy, canned pie crust, or like canned fruits or stuffing. In addition, the food shelf can always use pasta sauce, peanut butter, which is my favorite. All right, and what we call a can of tuna and hot chocolate or coffee, cereal, instant oatmeal, bottle of juice, and toiletries like a shampoo, soap, like necessary things, toothpaste, and more.
Great. So there's plenty of stuff you can bring in, everyone. Also, next week, we will also be collecting winter gear to donate to local residents. Bring in any new or gently used coats, boots, snow pants, hats, scarves, mittens, and gloves, and more to help keep our neighbors warm as the weather gets chillier. All sizes are needed, especially for kids and teens. Check out the signs across campus for the list of items to donate.
Thank you. To make these things a little bit more interesting, we want to make a friendly competition among the classes. The class bring the most food and then winter gear. Will have a whole advisories enter into the what's advisory? Raffle for advisory treats, and make sure you place your donation in the box. Make sure your class located outside of student life office.
If you're looking for even more ways to give next year, don't despair. Next Wednesday, November 16th, will be our first blood drive of the year. A single blood donation can save up to 3 lives, and donating blood is a way to help those who need it the most. More information about donation requirements and scheduling an appointment can be found at the table in the cafeteria during lunch through Thursday, November 15th, or by seeing Ms. McCaffrey in the guidance office.
Finally, on Friday, November 18th, there will be a Variety Day, which is, we like it, supporting the food shelf and their efforts. The cost will be $1, but anything more is greatly appreciated.
So everyone, let's use this weekend to do a little grocery shopping and bring in non-perishable food for the food drive. Look through your closets to find winter gear to donate, and consider donating blood to save a life. Have a great weekend, everybody. And donate.
Thank you, Paxton and Co. At this time, it's my privilege to welcome to the stage Mr. Matt Peters, who is a faculty member here. Mr. Peters served in the Navy for 10 years, and he's here to talk to us about Veterans Day. Mr. Peters.
Good morning, everyone. I'm grateful to be back in chapel to speak on Veterans Day. And then when I had my wife look over my talk last night, she had recommended that maybe I not comment on how wonderful it was to be here with people in it. But I mean, it's just so much more electrifying to have you all back in chapel. Last year, I was talking to the green light that's straight in front of me on the bottom of the balcony. So while it's going to be a tough act to follow from the NHS, I will do my best. I'd first like to start by recognizing anyone who has served in the military that's among our faculty and staff or any other anyone else is present here, as well as if there's anyone in here that's signed up on delayed entry to enter our military after they graduate. Could you guys please stand up and just be recognized if you want to be? Thank you so much. So this morning, I'd like to share with you an opinion piece that was written nearly 10 years ago for the Washington Post by General Martin Dempsey. At the time, General Dempsey was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, a governmental body that advises the President, the Secretary of Defense, and the National Security Council. While the General's thoughts are nearly a decade old, I feel his comments still ring true today, largely due to the polarization of our society. The title of the article is "The Military Needs to Reach Out to Civilians." 40 years ago this week, our nation instituted the all-volunteer force. For 39 of those years, I've witnessed the dedication of our men and women in uniform. They are remarkable. And the establishment of a professional military composed entirely of volunteers is one of our nation's finest achievements. It's been so effective that we often take it for granted, but we should pause to think about what our military means to the people it protects. The last decade of war has affected the relationship between our society and the military. We can't allow a sense of separation to grow between us. As the all-volunteer force enters its 5th decade, civilians and the military need to maintain the shared understanding necessary for a healthy relationship. Together, we need to discuss who we are and what our wars mean to us. In the past, this discussion reflected the character of war. World War II produced the greatest generation, the Korean War was largely forgotten, and for too long, so were its veterans. After Vietnam, our nation struggled to understand its veterans. In the Persian Gulf War, we witnessed a fully supportive home front. Now is the defining moment in our relationship with 9/11 veterans. As a nation, we've learned to separate the warrior from the war, but we still have much to learn about how to connect the warrior to the citizen. All of us in uniform volunteer to serve, but that doesn't make us all heroes. Many of us have seen the horrors of war, but that doesn't make us all victims. Today's warriors and their stories are more diverse than the simple characterizations suggest. As citizens, we must listen to our veterans. If we do, we'll hear stories of pride and courage, anger and pain, laughter and joy. We'll hear of actions that humble and inspire us. We'll also hear of moments that break our hearts. These stories represent the best of our nation. Those of us in the military share responsibility for this relationship. We should tell our stories and recognize that those who aren't in uniform might not know what to say or ask. We also have a duty to listen. Our fellow citizens may have different perspectives that we need to hear and understand. We must also keep faith with one another. Many of our warriors have paid a high price and need lasting support. The invisible wounds of war can linger for decades, and physical wounds often require long rehabilitation. All of our veterans deserve the opportunity to contribute to society once out of uniform. We owe much to our veterans and their families, but we shouldn't view all proposed events cuts as an attack on them. Modest reforms to pay and compensation will improve readiness and modernization. It will help keep our all-volunteer force sustainable and strong. Keeping faith also means investing sufficient resources so that we can uphold our sacred obligation to defend the nation and to send our sons and daughters to war with only the best training, leadership, and equipment. We can't shrink from our obligations to one another. The stakes are too high. We must also remember our shared values. Those of us in the military don't have a monopoly on service or sacrifice. We need to guard against suggestions that we deserve admiration because we volunteered to serve when others didn't. We are an all-volunteer force, but we are not all who volunteer. Service has always been fundamental to being an American. Across our country, police officers, firefighters, teachers, coaches, pastors, scoutmasters, business people, and many others serve their communities every day. Military service makes us different, but the desire to contribute permeates every corner of the United States. Nevertheless, we can't let our force become disconnected. We must guard against letting military service become a job for others. Children of those in the military are far more likely to join than children of those who are not. And young men and women in some areas never even consider the military as one of the many ways to serve our nation. Some fault lies with us. It can be tempting to stay on our bases and talk only to those we know. But we didn't stop being citizens when we put on the uniform. We came from small towns and big cities across our country and will go back one day. Civilians aren't an abstraction. They're our parents, grandparents, siblings, and friends. Our nation has met similar challenges before and succeeded. We sometimes forget that a volunteer force is normal in U.S. history and that the draft is an anomaly. Since the Constitution was signed, conscription was used for only 35 years. Except in times of great crisis, we have relied on a tradition of selfless service. The all-volunteer force continues that tradition. It has served our nation well for the past 40 years, and to do so for the next 40, we'll have to work together at it. That article was again by General Martin Dempsey, former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. In closing, I ask that you remember there are many ways to serve, and that service is needed everywhere. Whether you're serving your family, community, region, or country, your service matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peters. And I would offer you this thought as I send you out into the day and the weekend. Your service matters in however you express that, but so too does your gratitude. And so as you go into Veterans Day, please do keep your head up and look for those who you can thank for their past service, present service, and future service. With that, faculty.